Haddonfield is a calm little town without much going on, or at least it was. If you were to ask anyone in the town if there's something off with the place, they'd decline, because to accept that this was the birthplace of one of the purest forms of evil would be hard for anyone to accept. If you haven't figured it out by now, today on Surviving the Fog, we are going to be looking at the totem spawns for Haddonfield's Lampkin Lane, also known as Haddonfield. Now, before we get further into this, if you want to check us out live, we do stream on Twitch throughout the week at twitch.tv/Parklis. If you have any questions about the game, survivors, killers, perks, add-ons, maps, totems, anything, come hang out, ask away, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. We're pretty chill and know a lot about the game. Now, if you're new to the game and trying to figure out why these videos are useful, well, I'll help you out a little bit here. Every single map has a large collection of totems that can possibly spawn on the map. Whenever a trial starts, the game will randomly select 5 of these totems and place them throughout the map. Our goal here is to inform you about where every single possible totem spawn location is on the map, so the next time you're in Haddonfield and somebody has one of those pesky hex perks that you just need to get rid of, you're going to be better informed in order to break it when you need it most. Now, in order to help you out here, this one's a little different than some of the other maps that we've done. So we're still gonna break up the totems into specific locations, but we're gonna do it into outdoor totem spawns, the houses totem spawns, and then finally the main building. We're gonna leave some timestamps here, so if you need to jump around, make sure you give it a check. And this will help you navigate the video a little bit easier if you just need to find a couple specific ones. So without further ado, let's jump into Haddonfield's Lampkin Lane. The first spawn we're going to look at is in an outer benches tile. Now you'll notice a lot of the tiles on this map have 3 benches that are in kind of a square or triangular pattern, then can be facing inside or outside the tile. Now this first one we're going to look at has 3 benches. It sometimes has a pallet, sometimes has a hook, but you'll see a rock that is flanked by 2 trees next to the pallet. The totem is going to be on the inside of the tile right up against that rock, so take a look if you get a chance. All right, the next outside bench tile we're going to look at has these 3 benches facing inside of the tile. Also, sometimes it'll have a pallet. Now this totem is going to be on the inside of the tile, much like the last one. You'll notice one tree that has a light post next to it. Next to the light post is a bench. That's where the pallet will be, and then you'll see another tree with a rock. This totem is going to be between the rock and the tree in that pallet loop area. All right, now the next outer bench tile we're going to look at is, instead of sitting benches, it's actually picnic benches. You're going to see 4 of them here. They're kind of arranged in a semi-square-ish type formation. There's going to be a rock in the middle and a tree, and there's going to be sometimes a pallet there, sometimes there's going to be a hook, sometimes a gen. You're going to notice that this totem is up against one of the picnic benches on the corner, and it's actually the picnic bench that has the golden toolbox. So yeah, check it out. If you see the golden toolbox, you might find a totem. All right, now this is the exact same tile that we looked at before. The reason I'm putting it here is because the thing about all of the tiles on this map is there's only a handful that are in specific locations. Like there's the outer road caps, there's Lori's house, but most of the other tiles, other than the houses, have to be in specific locations, and the outer tile, the outside nature tiles, have to be in specific locations. The nature tiles can actually be anywhere in where the nature tiles can spawn. So this is another golden toolbox, but instead of the corner of the map, it's in the middle. Now this next bench tile is a little confusing. It's a jungle gym bench or swing set bench. There's 2 large swing sets that flank a pallet loop, which has 2 opposite facing benches. Sometimes it'll have a hook, sometimes it'll have a gen. It has picnic tables, it has trees. This tile has like everything. Now these I've seen usually only on the outer portion of the map rather than towards the center. But this totem is going to be in the center of the tile. If you find the pallet loop, you'll find some boxes, some trash. It's going to be parked in there next to one of the picnic benches and the trash. All right, the next outer bench tile we're going to look at is some sitting benches with some trees. It's a kind of nice park feel. You got some lamp posts. Not really a whole lot going on here. Sometimes you'll see a hook, sometimes a gen, all that good stuff. Again, this is usually going to be on the outer edges of the map, less towards the center. But this totem is pretty obvious. As you can see, there's some trees on the outer corners of this tile. And the totem is going to be spawned up against the back side of one of those trees. So it's going to be facing outside of the tile rather than inside. So take a look around the trees. All right, the next outside tile we're going to look at is probably one of the most easily recognizable outside tiles. This is the corner hedge maze type thing. You got these 4 corner walls that has a plus sign opening in between that has tiled patio. It has some benches. It has a light post. Usually toward the middle of the map on the outer edge, there is a totem in here. The totem is going to be in the corner of the hedges. If you go ahead and find where the pallet is, it's going to be usually next to the pallet loop there. So take a look. If you happen to see the hedge maze, check the corners. All right, now even though every single tile has a specific totem spawn and it won't spawn in any other location on the tile, and all the totem spawns are random, this end of the road cap totem spawn right here behind the cement blocks has spawned on 95 to 98% of the maps that I've done. So if you're looking, and it can spawn on both sides at the same time. So if you're having a hard time finding a totem, check the end of the road behind these cedar blocks here. And majority of the time, there's going to be a totem behind one of these 2 ends of the road. All right, as we continue down the road, the next road tile we're going to look at is the 2-car road tile. Now, this is going to have a truck and it's going to have a car. This is a pretty well-known, obvious tile because you can look up and down the road and you see the 2 cars. You can figure out exactly where that tile is. Now this totem is going to be on the side of the car behind some of the trash cans and the tree. This tile can also spawn a pallet in between the 2 cars. So keep an eye out. But yeah, the totem is going to be on the car side, next to the sidewalk, next to the trash cans, and tucked away there. So just keep an eye out. Pretty easy tile to spot if you're looking for some totems. Now the next road tile we're going to look at is the cop car tile. This is most noticeable by, you guessed it, the blaringly bright cop car that is in the center of this tile. I don't know why they made the lights so bright. I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty obnoxious. Anyway, there is a totem that's going to spawn on this tile, and it's going to be on the side with all the trimmed trees underneath this bigger tree. Now, if you're having a hard time figuring out exactly where it is, so follow the direction the cop car's hood is facing, and on the driver's side, there's going to be that totem there on the inside of the tile. All right, let's give our eyes a break as we move down the road away from the cop car and we go to the next road tile. This is going to be the beat up truck tile because it has a beat up truck, if you couldn't have guessed it. The truck usually has a pallet between the truck and the tree. Now the totem here is going to be on the pallet side, so pretty obvious and easy to figure it out. It's going to be on the outside of the tile underneath the tree between 2 bushes there. So once again, it's pretty easy to figure out where this totem is. If you happen to check it, you can just run by this as you go to your next tile. All right, now the final road tile we're going to look at is the extremely non-suspicious white blocked out panel van that's just sitting on the road. Anyway, on the van tile, it's going to be pretty obvious. This tile is most of the time toward the end cap of the road, The van sometimes is going to have a pallet, sometimes the tile will have a generator. Anyway, the totem is going to be a polar opposite of the 2-car tile, where instead of on underneath the tree with the trim trees facing the inside, this is going to be on the outside. It's a wide open totem, pretty hard to miss. All right, now as we move away from the road and the outside tiles, we're going to start looking at the house tiles. Now, an interesting fact about this map is there are several locations, and if you looked at the map image I put at the beginning of the video with the little totem animation, those houses are static. Those house spawns will always spawn in those locations. Now, which houses spawn in those locations are going to be different depending on which trial loads. So there's going to be the 3 in front of Lori's house, the 2 on the edges next to Lori's house. But the first house we're going to look at is going to be what's commonly known as the House of Pain. This has 2 floors. It'll have a generator sometimes on the bottom floor. It'll have a really powerful pallet down here, sometimes a chest, but also it can have a totem. The totem is going to be on the back half of the bottom floor. You're going to see some boxes sitting out in the middle of the room, and behind those boxes, that's where your totem's going to be hiding. All right, now the next house we're going to look at is going to be the open blue house. I'm pretty sure this is the Myers house. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've watched the movies. Anyway, so this is the open blue house, and you'll understand later why I call it the open blue house. It has 2 floors. It has a first floor and then a second upper floor. This first floor is going to have a single person gen, usually next to the staircase. It's going to have some lockers towards the back. It's going to have a front and back patio. It's going to have some window vaults as well, some furniture. And then it's going to have the stairs to go upstairs into 3 rooms and a hallway, as well as some really powerful windows. And you can get on the back roof. Now, this totem is going to be upstairs at the very end of the hall, on the left side of the hall, in the little room by itself. That'll either have an opening or a window vault, and that is going to be tucked away in the corner there. So if you're happen to come by this blue house and you need to check your totem, go upstairs, end of the hall, take a left, and you should find it right there. Now, as we showed you the open blue house, there is the closed blue house. It's going to be pretty much exactly the same as the open blue house, except for it's closed off, it's boarded up, you can't go inside it, it's been condemned, whatever you want to think of. So it's the exact same model, you just can't go inside. So this totem is going to be in the front yard. If you're facing the house, you're going to see a truck on the left side. Sometimes there's going to be a pallet there. And then on the right side, you're going to see a large tree in the front yard. Facing the outer corner of this tile, behind some bushes, you're going to find the totem there. So this one can be a little tricky, but keep an eye out for it. The next house we're going to look at is going to be the open yellow house. Now, the open yellow house is a very interesting one. It's going to have a garage, and that garage can be opened or closed. It's going to have a bunch of lockers in it. It's also usually sometimes going to have a car in the driveway. It's going to have a first floor. It's going to have a second floor. The first floor on the backyard is going to have stairs to go into the back of the house. And then in the front, it's not going to have a patio like the blue one did, but it's going to have stairs to go inside. It's going to have a kitchen, a living room, a family room, a dining room. Sometimes they'll have a generator. It's going to have some pretty decent windows. The upstairs is going to have 3 rooms, 1 long room to the right, 2 small rooms to the left. It's going to have a couple good windows, sometimes a generator. But the totem here is actually going to be up the stairs immediately to the left, your first room. Next to the mattress, you're going to find your totem there. Now, as we move on through the houses, the last house we're going to look at is the closed yellow house. This is, again, the yellow house, exactly the same as the last tile, but you can't go inside the house. The doors are shut, locked. The windows are boarded up. Not much you can do here, except the difference is the garage is actually going to be open, whereas on the open yellow house, the garage is closed. I know, a little confusing. Anyway, this is going to have a car in the driveway as well, sometimes a pallet. The totem is actually going to be inside that garage. So if you're coming through the main garage entrance, it's to the right. If you're coming through the side on the right, it's going to be to the left. If you're coming through the front of the house, it's going to be in front of you. So check out that totem. It's pretty hard to miss. All right, thank you everybody who stuck it out this long. You guys are awesome as always. If you think I missed anything, if you liked it, make sure you go ahead and hit like, subscribe, comment down below, anything you want. You guys know how YouTube works. Anything is really appreciated. So thank you guys very much. Now, the last tile we're going to look at, as there is no other main building, is going to be Lori's house. This is going to be in the middle of the map. It's the only white house, super obvious. It's going to have 2 floors. It's always going to have the basement. The upper floor will sometimes have a gen in the hallway or in one of the rooms. It's going to have some windows that you can jump out of to get to the roof or straight down below. Now, the totem is actually going to be down below on the first floor. If you go to the back of the house, there's going to be a little closet, and in that closet is going to be your totem. Once again, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. If nobody told you, we love you very much, and please stay safe out there in the fog.